I think when people listen to electronic music, they have certain sort of preconceptions of how it should sound. A strong beat or song-like structure, whereas I think what I'm doing is looking at different kind of structures that people aren't used to. I think it is experimental, and that's quite interesting, especially when you're playing amongst bands, because audiences have certain preconceptions, and it's quite interesting playing with that idea. I started making music in about 2004, just sort of making laptop music, and I was starting to really get sort of bored with having too many options and too many effects, unlimited tracks and so forth. So I kind of found it refreshing using a Game Boy, because there was only certain things you could do, and the limitations were inspiring. A lot of my inspiration, it sort of comes from the medium that I'm working with. I've used old retro technology like Game Boys, Atari 2600s, Commodore 64s. And sometimes I'll be composing on the item itself, either through some sort of card mechanism, or other times I'll be working on the computer and sending information to the hardware. The idea is that I don't use any sampling, I don't use overdubs, just the sound of the thing itself. So it's a really minimal exercise. What sets me apart from other musicians is that I've got more of an experimental edge, and I'm not afraid to take risks. And I think people are shocked by it because a lot of the songs are quite short, and people have certain expectations of what a song should be. I mean, especially for a pop song, radios will demand that it's got to be 3 to 5 minutes and have certain elements, whereas when you condense things into sort of a smaller format, I think people find that shocking, and that's something I've always been inspired by. A lot of artists can be too self-indulgent, so the idea is to keep a high energy track, keep the audience interested. That's all part of the limitations and why it sounds the way it does. I think there are some people that don't get it. I'm often presented, I don't think there's a presentation format ready for this genre of music yet. I mean, I think there's a couple of niche events, but on a nationwide or national scale, there isn't a lot of scope. So often you're either playing with bands or in the backs of pubs and things like that. So it gives it quite a surreal element. It's quite a confrontational thing, but they don't always understand. But I think that's sometimes part of what makes it interesting. My ambition really is to either self-release or work with labels that won't make me compromise what I do. It is my ambition, really. I think it's the music that's got to come first, and if people aren't ready for it, then I will sort of take it into my own hands. So it's really just challenging people's preconceptions of music and pushing things forward.